Welcome to Bump, the most candid, open and brutally honest show about motherhood, fatherhood and babies. Brought to you by my expert midwife, Bubble and Cyber Jammies. So joining me is a doctor in obstetrics and gynecology, correct?
Yeah.
Now not only is she a doctor, but she's my sister! She's my big sister Lauren, or as other people know her, Dr. Jackson. And I wanted Lauren to come on and talk with me about, number one, her birth story. Because we had very different birth stories, didn't we, Lauren?
Just a little bit.
Little bit.
Mine was fine to start off with. As soon as I was fully dilated, his heart rate just dropped right down. And that means you basically need to deliver baby really quickly because you worry that if their heart's not beating, there's a reason for that. They're not getting enough oxygen.
And when all that was happening, were you laying there going, well, I know exactly what you're saying. I know that my baby's in loads of trouble. Because obviously they use all these big, long words, don't they?
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't have a clue.
Yeah.
But you obviously knew.
So I understand. My husband isn't medical.
No.
Dan obviously not medical.
I don't know who your husband is. Sorry. Never met him.
So I sort of felt more worried for him in a way because I thought all these people like rushing into my room and rushed me straight through to theatre. And actually, I think because they knew me, everyone was there, which was lovely. But then Dan kind of got lost in the crowd, and I didn't know where he was. Yeah. But luckily, when we got into theatre, someone had scooped him up and taken him in.
Do you feel like the men sometimes do get forgotten about a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really hard because especially if like a woman is really like I had it the other day, someone was really poorly, and we needed to look after them. And all our attention, the whole team, and there must be about 10, 15 of us in the room, everyone was looking after this woman, and Dad and the baby were like just on the side.
Was the baby okay?
Baby was fine.
She was a bit
She wasn't.
iffy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think it is really hard. And I think it's really hard for dads in labour generally.
I think sometimes you're so focused on what your birth's going to be like that then when it doesn't go that way, you're disappointed.
I think it's really hard. I think like birth plans are good in that I think women really need to know what is normal in labour, what happens, what can happen if an emergency happens, and so they're not scared of it because people shouldn't be scared of it. And it's such an unusual situation. Like you do it like once or twice maybe lots more times.
Maybe 10 times.
Yeah, but generally people don't do it all that much, and then often all you hear is like the worst stories or the best stories.
Do you think women should hear both? Do you think they should be told the bad stories?
I mean, not necessarily like laboured, but on the point of like, oh, this is the worst case scenario. But like, just to know that if something goes wrong and all these people come into the room, that's normal. Like, don't worry.
Don't panic
about
that.
Normally the midwife would say that if they're about to pull the buzzer anyway, but you don't always remember. But like, I think antenatally, to know what is a normal pattern of events and how things can change. Because like people come in with these lovely birth plans, and if that happens, that's brilliant. And if that's what they want, great. Like, of course, I'd love someone to have a beautiful water birth and not need any help at all the whole way through. But then the problem is if they don't get that, people feel like they've failed. Yeah. And they've not. Like it's just the way nature is sometimes.
I know, can you remember how upset I was that I thought I was going to be induced?
Yeah, and a lot of people are like that about induction.
So going back to you and your induction, where we started, we like to do these segments, don't we?
Yeah. So then, basically, like, I was rushed into theatre and ended up having an emergency caesarean.
And you were quite poorly. Now, Lauren didn't tell me this, so Lauren didn't feel the need to tell me that my sister was quite close to, you lost a lot of blood.
So this was with Adam, so with the second one.
Oh, so with Adam you lost a lot of blood. Yeah. Right, so with Joe it wasn't quite
Joe was fine, because it's like first caesarean, which generally are a lot, like, safer.
Yeah.
But then with the second one, again, it was similar. I had an emergency caesarean, but it was because I wasn't really progressing in labour.
Yeah.
Because I was induced again for the same thing. And yeah, apparently I'd got quite a bit of scar tissue on the inside, which can happen.
Yeah.
Which is why we kind of don't want women to have lots of caesareans.
My birth story was so different to Lauren's too, but I'd only heard, so my mum didn't have particularly amazing births with us, did she? She had the same thing as you.
Yeah, we think she got that.
Where you get your liver problem. What's it called?
Obstetric cholestasis.
Obstetric cholestasis. So mum's weren't like overly positive. Yours were pretty bad. So that was all I knew of birth. But I feel like that almost made me more relaxed. I can imagine it maybe has an opposite effect on some people and it makes them panic. But for me personally, I felt knowing the ins and outs and the nitty gritty and the worst, like, you know, not the worst, because worse can happen, but the, you know, the bad things that could happen almost prepared me. So my birth story was quite different, wasn't I? Mm-hmm. And Lauren was with me on the phone for quite a bit of the labour.
I was poised to
You're
go.
poised. So Danny, sweetheart, do you want to come in and give your side of the story, actually? Because your side's maybe a little bit different to mine.
I knew you couldn't resist having me in a bump episode then.
He's sat there, you can see him sat there on the corner just edging his way in. That's your sister-in-law.
I thought we were doing a picture.
No, darling. Not now. So yes, tell us, like, how... So you spoke to Lauren a lot, didn't you, when I was in labour?
I did, yeah. You were on the other side of the phone all night, really.
Did
I think you went to bed in your clothes, didn't you?
I did go to bed in my clothes.
So Lauren went to bed because Lauren was poised, ready, because she was going to actually come to the hospital and kind of be there on hand in case I needed her, because obviously she knows what she's doing, and you carry a lot of weight with your title, don't you, Lauren? So I was like, if I need someone knocking into action, Lauren's my girl.
It was amazing for me to have that as well.
Yeah, so Lauren went to bed that night knowing that I'd gone into labour, thinking, oh, she'll probably get a call like middle of the night. So she'd gone to bed full face of makeup.
I don't know if I had a full face. I don't often wear a full face of
You
makeup.
said you had
I think I
makeup
did put. Oh, maybe I did. Yeah, maybe I did put makeup on.
You've got better now. Your boys are a bit older.
Yeah.
Now you started bothering again.
Less mum buttons.
Yeah. Laid straight in bed with a fully dressed, ready to go. Should the call come in, which it never did it? In the end.
Yeah.
But prior to that, you two had been chatting. Did he sound frantic?
He did sound a bit stressed.
Did he?
Like stressed and excited. It's like we're saying, it's a weird situation to be in, isn't it?
Weird. Yeah, it is weird.
Because she was obviously very uncomfortable.
It was very uncomfortable because it was all so fast, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think, as I always say, like, as like the man of the house, you try and fix everything, and when you can't control something, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, and you for the first time, you kind of ask for a lot of help. And it's weird because you want to do it yourself, you know. You want I can fix everything.
Back being rubbed.
Huh?
I mainly just asked for my back to be rubbed, didn't I?
Yeah, but you know, she's still. Did you hear the story about? So I was rubbing her back.
The oil.
Yeah, and I put the oil on the side, and she told me to move. She even the OCD of how clean she is came in. I mean, birth can't be that bad. No, I'm joking. But she basically. No, I'm joking.
Get out.
If you're thinking about the oil on the side of the cupboard.
But that was
Don't put it there,
early
it'll
on.
stay in the white cupboard.
Yeah, but that's... So, what's kind of like your most vivid memory of the whole...
You actually want to say what the vivid memory is?
Is it me there?
Oh my God, so I will tell you actually. I'm there, holding Cooper, having a nice little moment.
When he just arrived.
After it, all the mayhem, after 36 minutes, right?
Yeah.
36, it's 1:37, a minute after, I'm
Well,
holding
4 hours in total.
4 hours in total,
Yeah.
but 30 minutes of craziness.
In hospital.
I'm there holding Cooper, like, oh, I need to like, look over to the, literally like where that light is, like that. And she's just smiling at me. With the legs in, is it what it's called? Stirrups like that, and a litre of blood or whatever underneath. I'm thinking, hey.
I mean, it was all hanging out, wasn't it, darling?
I've never seen anything like it.
The only thing is, you didn't see me poo.
You didn't, or did you?
Well, I did, but I did it all at home, didn't I?
Oh, yeah, you did it all at home, yeah.
Basically, I was pushing Cooper out in the toilet, wasn't I?
Yeah. So, that was the...
And you decided to wear cream suede shoes
Yeah.
for on the day, didn't you?
Well...
When it all kicked off. Oh, put these lovely cream suede shoes on.
Obviously, I didn't think to myself, we're going to have a baby tonight, so I dressed up...
Why did you not when she was in labour?
No, hold on a minute, just go back a sec. We were in the
Oh,
pub...
not tonight,
Are we ganging up on you?
I feel very ganged up here. We were in the pub having fish and chips.
We were, darling,
right? So I thought, hey, what better time to wear your khaki shoes? And you know, I had the beer, the honeydew beer, and I put up on Instagram. About time our kid was as well. Honeydew.
Spelled differently. But
and then suddenly, when she first came out of the toilet though, I actually genuinely didn't realise what was going on. I just thought she'd blocked the toilet or something. So she came out and she went...
thought I'd done a big poo.
She came out and she went, we need to go. And I thought, what have you done in there? What have you done?
Does she do that often?
That's
Does you have
what-
to leave a lot of restaurants?
Well, it's
because of
not me
that?
coming out of the toilet
Yeah.
doing that. We need to go.
Everywhere we
Needs to
go.
go. Yeah.
No, you won't poo in public, will you?
Thanks for telling everyone that. Everything about that moment at the hospital was crazy. Even when we turned up, it was like...
It was mental, wasn't it? It was like a sketch,
You know.
comedy sketch.
I felt like Mr. Bean, honestly. We screeched into the car park.
I screamed in.
You screamed in, I screeched in. And you went to me, I didn't realise, I thought you'd be able to walk. You went, I need an effing wheelchair, you said.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. Oh, you were swearing like anything.
Apparently, my potty mouth just came into full force
Yeah.
when I
But
went
it-
into labour.
But it was really deep. It wasn't like high Georgia, like...
It was like...
It was like... It was like that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we came in, screeched up, because it's like scream and skidded, screeched.
Yeah.
And
We
then
got
you
that,
went, I
we
need a
got that.
wheelchair. I went for the first wheel, I ran out, went for the first wheelchair
You
I
just put
saw.
pounding. Normally they're like
No,
trolleys.
well, I didn't realise. Well, there was one there, I was like, brilliant.
Imagine. Imagine you come back. You got a pound,
Oh
Georgia.
my
You got
God,
pounds.
imagine that. No, I haven't got a quid. First one I saw, dodgy wheel on it. Went round in a full circle.
Did you put her in it?
Went back.
No.
I didn't. Went inside, luckily there was a big old queue of them. So I got another one. Put her in it, shoved some bags on my shoulders. I was like, what bags do you need? These bags that you've been packing for however many months.
But I'm pretty sure I went through the schedule of which bags we needed.
They were all black bags. They all looked the same.
He had his.
There was no
He
different
had
bag.
his ready. That was the main one, wasn't it?
Well, I had mine ready because mine got stolen a week
It did.
before.
It did.
So we went in there, got what bag I thought we needed, and up we go. You're holding
I was
him in.
holding him in.
Like
the
and
whole way.
I'm thinking there's a massive relief because we're here and I think it's happening. But then I'm thinking, oh, it's happening and this is kind of scary. So two kind of. So anyway, we go up there, get up in the lift. First doors through, all right. Second doors, it's a push.
Pull.
So, well, I thought I'd put you in backwards.
Yeah.
But backwards, those wheelchairs go like wonky. So she's
They,
going like that.
This snake, don't they,
Yeah,
when
they
you
snake.
put them
You can't-
backwards?
Yeah,
So you
terrible.
snaked into the walls.
Snake.
No, and then there was
Yeah.
a third set of doors. First set of doors, I thought, well, I'll go forward this time. Went like that to do it, and it was a buzzer one. So the doors were shut. The doors were shut, so I just saw her head go like that. And all her hair, she's holding on like this. And I was like, oh no.
I mean, if
And
that hadn't have pushed him out.
I know, and the
Yeah.
bags are falling off. I'm like this, and I'm all sweaty. And like, got in there, eventually. That young midwife met us, and you just screamed at her, I need something.
I need
I
something.
need something. I
Basically.
need something. That's what I was like, oh, okay.
She went, I need to examine you, Georgia. I was like, no, I need something. So wasn't
Yeah.
I think I was possessed at that point.
Yeah.
And basically got refused because it turned out I was ready to push, which really, in hindsight, I knew. I think you
Yeah.
probably knew.
Well, I knew after when you told me you'd been trying to do a poo before you were left.
Is that a big sign that
It's a big sign. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah, because it's baby's head. That's why everyone poos in labour, because baby's head comes down and you.
I didn't poo in labour.
You're always in poo.
Sorry, carry
It
on.
comes down and it like the rectum, the bit that has your poo in it, is behind where baby's head is, and so as it comes down, it squishes it out. So it's a sign that like baby's right there. Because
What if you've got diarrhea?
well, then it's probably empty, so it won't really squish
Oh,
out.
so it wouldn't
yeah.
really come out anywhere.
Yeah.
You might have already done that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two sisters talking about poo. See you later, guys.
Yeah. See ya.
Love you.
Thanks for getting me.
Anyway, moving on. So our bear stories were very different,
Yeah.
as you heard. But yeah, it's funny because so my bear story was actually quite wasn't very traumatic. It was just very quick. But afterwards, I did feel a little bit like traumatized, a bit like what on earth just happened, and also I can't ever do that again. Like I just don't want to go through that again. But do you think there should be something in place to kind of make people feel a bit better afterwards?
Yeah. I mean, I think like.
Or is there?
Yeah, there is. So people that have like really traumatic deliveries, like women that have had a big bleed or that have, we know, just have been quite affected by it.
Yeah.
We generally give them an appointment about 4 to 6 weeks afterwards.
Yeah.
And I always say to women when that's the case, like, if you've got any questions, write them down. Like, because we always go and debrief people afterwards and be like, right, what I say is like, do you understand everything that happened?
Yeah.
And why it needed to happen?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions about anything? Usually people don't, because at the time it's been explained fully. But sometimes if it's like a real emergency, people might have questions about why something needed to happen.
Because it's an actual thing, isn't it? Being scared. There's a thing called tocophobia, which obviously you'll know a lot more about than me. And I read a stat, Lauren. Believe it or not, I read a stat.
Did you understand it?
Yes. Because you'll understand why. Apparently, 25% of women have tocophobia.
What does that mean?
It means. I feel under pressure now.
Go on.
You're like, Dad.
Yeah.
It means the fear of giving birth. Either if you've already given birth, the fear of giving birth, or you could have not even given birth yet, and the thought of it happening.
Yeah, which I think is quite valid. Like, it's a scary thing to think about.
Yeah.
Like, and especially like the women that might have had like a difficult time the first time. You can understand that. But then I think the important thing is to be able to like talk about that and why you're scared, and then what we can do to stop you being scared.
Yeah.
And to make it better.
And make it easier.
Yeah.
Talking is key.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Laura.
That's all right.
It's been lovely having you.
Yeah.
Long overdue.
I know.
And I get sister time as well. It's wonderful. Thanks so much for watching Bump. If you want to watch the playlist, then click here. And if you want to watch last week's episode, then click here.